Oh, I'm sorry. Did I make you uncomfortable? Well, that was kind of the point. That's kind of how I feel when my brain is reacting to me changing my habits for the better. That's actually how it feels. It's like the lazy side, the doubtful side of my brain, the rational side of my brain will get up in my face and he'll be like, "What are you doing? What? Where are you going? Why are you? What's the point in all this? What are you?" And the thoughts, they keep going and going and going until you either break free from the thoughts and you become this new person due to newer habits and better habits, or you fall back into the same person you once were, further confirming the words that were brought up to your brain by your brain as you're trying to change. It sort of, well, I'm not going to beat around the bush, but it reminds me, I think a lot about semen retention. If you don't know what semen retention is, every man should be on semen retention. Basically where you just don't bust a nut. That's basically it. Which actually reminds me of a story I wanted to tell, which I will tell after I explain SR. SR is semen retention for short. One of the best things you can do, I've been practicing it for about 5 years. It's very difficult, and you have to wonder why, dirty websites and all of those things are free, of course. Is it really just for your pleasure? Is it just another form of entertainment? You got to think deeply. Like, is food just food? Like when you go to the supermarket versus going to McDonald's, is McDonald's really just is the hamburger really just meat with the cheese and the pickles, or are there like preservatives underneath? And is that McFlurry really like just ice cream, or are there other things in that McFlurry, other chemicals and things of the sort? Versus going to a supermarket, this is a cow. Is it organic? Did it get fed antibiotics? I think you get the idea of where I'm going with this. But it's like a remedy for the soul. It's the hardest thing, especially in our society. You see all this lustful stuff being pushed. Sexy Red. Before it was like Nicki Minaj. Who do we got now? Ice Spice. I can't even keep up with some of these people because just everything is just degenerating in front of our very eyes. Music, culture, the culture in so many different ways. But real talk, that's the struggle. That's the mental battle where I feel like my brain is playing tug of war and I'm almost not in control of myself, in that I'm so used to doing a particular thing for so long, a specific habit. Let's say, for instance, you're addicted to sugar, which I definitely was at one point. But I don't really like care for candy as much. Even when I do eat candy, it's not like I crave it like I used to. You eat a bag of candy. Like I go to the gas station, get a bag of candy, eat that whole thing in like an hour, 2 hours. It's slight bag of candy. And then like I just get this intense craving for sugar that I can't satisfy. That habit keeps getting fed and fed and fed until I break the cycle of maybe introducing more fruits into my diet. I want some sweet stuff, just get some fruits. Eat some fruits, get a healthy diet, eat some whole grains, whole meats, whatever. That old cycle of sugar craving is over, and then the new cycle of healthy eating or healthier eating has occurred. But that change, and when you're at that midpoint of change, when you're so used to the old, it's easy to fall back into the old way of thinking, of habits. And this is the main thing where you have to catch yourself, and where I caught myself so many times and I failed over and over and over again. But as it clicks in my mind right now, like when you're at that midpoint spot and and you've already climbed out of the quote unquote hole of the old side, and then you're transitioning or have the potential to transition to the new side. How many people crumble in that scenario? How many times have you crumbled in that scenario? I know how many times I've crumbled. It's countless times. But I want to seize the moment as I feel it in my mind right now and make a conscious effort and decision to continue pushing forward with all the habits, all the good habits I want to introduce into my life. When those thoughts of doubt and feelings of unworthiness creep in, are you going to listen to your brain? Like, your mind can be your friend. Most of the time it's not, especially when you're pushing the rock up the hill. Before you get to the apex of the hill, it's a grind. You gotta push up. The snowball effect really only happens the longer you continue down the specific habits that you are working on. So for me, for all of us, really, it's just a matter of consciously and even unconsciously pushing toward that goal, whatever it is. I hope that made sense.